No excuses. Take extreme ownership of your life. Let me ask you this. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, only to watch tomorrow turn into weeks, months, or even years? No more waiting. No more excuses. This is your wake-up call. Chapter Nope 1 and See. The power of ownership is where everything begins. Think about this for a moment. How many times in your life have you said, it's not my fault? Maybe it was when you didn't get the job you wanted, when a relationship fell apart, or when life threw something at you that felt unfair. It's human. It's easy to look outward, to point the finger, to say, they did this to me, or life isn't fair. But here's the brutal truth. Every time you do that, you hand over your power. Every time you say, it's someone else's fault, you're giving away the keys to your own future. And when you give away the keys, don't be surprised when you feel stuck, when you feel trapped, when you feel like life is driving you instead of you driving life. Extreme ownership flips that script. Jocko Willink, a man who has lived through combat, leadership, and some of the most difficult circumstances imaginable, said something that changed my perspective forever. Leaders must own everything in their world. There is no one else to blame. Think about that. There is no one else to blame. Not your boss, not your parents, not your past, not the system. You. If your life is not where you want it to be, it's on you. That may sound heavy, almost crushing, but here's the paradox when you take that responsibility. When you say, yes, it's on me, suddenly you're free. Because if it's their fault, you can't fix it. If it's the world's fault, you're stuck waiting for the world to change. But if it's on you, you have the power to take action. You have the power to rewrite your story. That is the power of ownership. Now, let's make this real. Imagine two people in the exact same situation. Both lose their jobs unexpectedly. One says, this is unfair. My company betrayed me. I can't believe this happened. Weeks turn into months. Their bitterness grows. They feel paralyzed. The other person says, it happened. I didn't see it coming, but I'll own my response. What can I do now? How can I use this moment to level up? That second person starts learning, building, applying, hustling. They may not succeed overnight, but they move forward. Ownership moves you forward. Excuses freeze you in place. And I get it. Taking ownership is not easy. It's much easier to point to the outside world and say, that's the reason I'm not where I should be. But easy never built greatness. Easy never built discipline. Easy never built freedom. Ownership, on the other hand, builds resilience, it builds strength, it builds clarity. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and told yourself, if I don't like my life, it's on me to change it? That's not blame, that's empowerment. There's a difference. Blame keeps you stuck in guilt. Ownership pulls you into action. Ownership says, I may not control everything that happens, but I control how I respond. I control the next step. Look at your own life. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your career. Maybe it's your relationships. Where are you giving away ownership? Where are you making excuses? Where are you letting someone else hold the pen to your story? Be honest, because honesty is where transformation starts. I'll share something personal. There was a time when I looked at my failures and thought, why me? Why do I have to go through this? But the more I asked that question, the weaker I became. The day things shifted was the day I stopped asking, why me? And started asking, what can I do about it? That question unlocked everything. Instead of waiting for someone else to rescue me, I started building the habits, the discipline, the daily actions that put me back in control. That's what ownership looks like. It's not about being perfect. It's about being accountable. Ownership doesn't just change your life. It changes your identity. When you take ownership, you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a creator. Victims react, creators act. Victims wait, creators build. Victims stay stuck in the past, creators write the future. That's the transformation waiting for you the moment you say, it's on me. And here's another truth. Ownership is contagious. You can take ownership in your own life. People around you feel it. Your kids, your coworkers, your friends, they see it. They're inspired by it. They may resist it at first because ownership exposes excuses, but deep down, people respect it. Leadership doesn't begin with leading others. Leadership begins with leading yourself. And ownership is the foundation of leadership. So what does it look like in practice? It's simple, but not easy. Ownership is waking up early when your body says 5 more minutes. Ownership is admitting you made the mistake at work instead of pointing the finger. Ownership is saying, I'm responsible for my health instead of blaming genetics, circumstances, or time. Ownership is calling yourself out when you waste hours scrolling on your phone instead of moving toward your goals. Ownership is brutal honesty with yourself, and that honesty hurts, but it heals. Now, you might be thinking, but what about the things I can't control? And that's fair. There are things in life you can't control: accidents, illnesses, tragedies. Ownership doesn't mean pretending you control everything. It means owning how you respond to everything. That's where your freedom lies. When life hits you with something unexpected, you can either crumble and say, it's over, or you can stand tall and say, this will not define me. I will define me. Let's be real. There are people out there with every disadvantage imaginable who still rise. And there are people with every advantage who still fall. What makes the difference? Ownership, the ones who rise are the ones who say, I'm responsible. I'll find a way. I'll make it happen. So here's the question that I want you to carry with you. Are you ready to take ownership of your life? Are you ready to stop waiting for the world to change and start changing yourself? Because the truth is, no one's coming to save you. Not tomorrow, not next week. No superhero, no miracle, just you. And that's not something to fear. That's something to celebrate, because it means you are enough. You are capable. You already have what it takes. Extreme ownership isn't about blame. It's about freedom. It's about saying, if it's on me, then I have the power to change it. And once you embrace that, nothing can stop you. You will stumble, yes. You will fail, yes. But you'll own the failure, learn from it, and rise stronger. That's the path. That's the mindset. That's the power of ownership. So the next time you hear yourself making an excuse, catch it. Stop it. Replace it with ownership. Instead of, I don't have time, say, I didn't make time. Now I will. Instead of, I can't, say, I haven't yet, but I will try. Instead of, it's not fair, say, it's my challenge and I'll overcome it. Yeah. That shift, that single mental pivot will transform everything. No excuses, just ownership. And once you embrace that fully, you won't just change your life, you'll inspire others to change theirs too. That's the real power of ownership. Chapter No. Point 2, excuses vs. results. Excuses or results, you can't have both. That's the truth most people run from. Excuses are easy, comfortable, they protect your ego in the moment. But results demand sacrifice. Results demand discomfort. Results demand responsibility. And here's the thing, life will always give you two paths: the path of excuses or the path of results. Which one are you walking right now? Think about the last time you said, I don't have time. Did you really not have time, or did you just not make it a priority? The truth is, we all have 24 hours in a day, every single one of us. The most successful people, the most disciplined people, the ones you look up to, they didn't get extra hours delivered to their doorstep. They didn't get a secret clock that gives them more time. They just decided to stop making excuses. They decided that results mattered more than comfort. Excuses are clever. They disguise themselves as valid reasons. I'm too tired. I don't know how. They'll sound logical. They even feel protective. But excuses don't protect you. They poison you. Slowly, quietly. They eat away at your potential, your dreams, your future. Excuses give you temporary relief, but permanent regret. Results, on the other hand, don't care about how you feel in the moment. Results don't show up because you felt motivated. Results show up when you do the work, whether you feel like it or not. And that's why most people never taste real success, because they value comfort over results. Let me ask you this. How many times have you told yourself you'd start something, getting in shape, saving money, chasing a dream, only to look back months or even years later and realize you're in the exact same place? That's the cost of excuses. They steal time you can never get back. Results are different. Results compound. Every little action, every small step builds on itself. It may not look like much in the beginning, but over time, those results change your life. Imagine two versions of you. The first version keeps making excuses. I don't have the money to invest in myself. I don't have the time to exercise. I don't have the energy to start something new. Day after day, they repeat the same cycle. A year later, they're in the same place or worse. Now imagine the second version of you, the one who refuses excuses, the one who says, I'll find a way. I'll start today, even if it's small. That version of you may not look much different at first, but after a year, stronger, wiser, more disciplined, more confident. Which one will you be? Here's what I've learned. Excuses and results both demand something from you. Excuses demand your future. Results demand your effort. One costs you forever. The other costs you today. Which price are you willing to pay? Jocko Willink once said, discipline equals freedom. That's not just a catchy phrase, it's a reality. When you eliminate excuses and focus on discipline, you gain results. And results give you freedom. Excuses feel like freedom in the moment. I don't have to do this now, I'll relax. But what they really give you is a prison of regret. Think about the people who inspire you most. They're not people who had perfect conditions. They're people who had every reason to make excuses, but didn't. They could have said, it's too hard. I don't know how. I don't have enough. But they chose results. They chose action. That's why we respect them. That's why their stories move us. Because deep down, we know we could do the same if we stopped lying to ourselves with excuses. Excuses are the language of the old you, the weaker you, the scared you. Results are the proof of the future you, the stronger you, the unstoppable you. When you look in the mirror, who do you want to see? The person who always has a reason why they can't, or the person who has proof that they did? I'll share something raw. There was a time in my life when I was drowning in excuses. I told myself I didn't have time to work out, didn't have the resources to pursue what I wanted, didn't have the right connections. And for a while, those excuses felt real. But one day I looked at myself and asked, what if none of that is true? What if the only thing standing in my way is me? That question cut deep. It forced me to confront a painful truth. I wasn't failing because of the world. I was failing because of my excuses. From that moment, I made a promise: no more excuses. If I didn't have time, I would make time. If I didn't know how, I would learn. If I didn't have energy, I would still show up. And you know what's what? The results started to show, slowly at first, but they grew. And those results gave me more than progress. They gave me confidence. They proved to me that the only thing standing between me and my goals was my willingness to stop lying to myself. And that's what I want for you. To reach that breaking point where you decide you're done with excuses, to feel the power of results. Because results don't just change your circumstances, they change who you believe you are. Every result is a vote for the new you. Every excuse is a vote for the old you. Which version are you building with your choices today? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get everything right. You just have to stop choosing excuses. One by one, replace them with action. Replace I can't with I'll try. Replace I don't have time with I'll make time. Replace it's not fair with it's my challenge and I'll rise to it. Each replacement is a step toward results. Each step toward results is a step toward the life you're meant to live. The truth is, excuses will always be waiting for you. They'll always whisper in your ear. They'll always offer you the easy way out. But results will always reward you. They'll always prove to you that you're stronger, tougher, more capable than you ever believed. And the best part, results don't lie. You can't fake results. Either you did the work or you didn't. And that clarity, as tough as it is the most liberating thing in the world. So I'll ask you again, what do you want, excuses or results? Do you want to look back on your life full of reasons why you couldn't? Or do you want to look back with proof that you did? The choice is yours. And the choice begins today. No excuses, results only. That's how you win. That's how you change. That's how you take back your life. Chapter 0.3a, stories of struggle and second chances. Struggle is universal. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what you've achieved, you've faced moments when life knocked the wind out of you. Moments that made you question whether you had the strength to keep going. Maybe it was the loss of someone you loved. Maybe it was a failure so big it crushed your confidence. Maybe it was a season where everything seemed to collapse at once. Your career, your finances, your health. We all know those moments. And here's the truth. Struggle is not a sign that you're weak. Struggle is proof that you're alive. Struggle means you're in the fight. But the real question is this: what do you do with your struggle? Do you let it break you? Or do you let it shape you? Because inside every struggle, hidden beneath the pain and the disappointment, there's something powerful, the possibility of a second chance. Let me ask you, Have you ever looked back at your hardest times and realized that they were the very moments that taught you the most? At the time, it felt unbearable. But later, you saw that it built you, that it stripped away excuses and revealed who you really are. That's the gift of struggle. It doesn't feel like a gift while you're living it. But one day, if you own it, you'll see that it was the very thing that pushed you toward your destiny. We love comeback stories for a reason. They remind us of what's possible. We admire the man who loses everything but builds again from the ground up. We admire the woman who is written off, counted out, but rises higher than anyone expected. These stories resonate because deep down, we know we all have a comeback in us. We know we all have the power to rise again. Jocko Willink once said, "Good. When something goes wrong, when plans collapse, when life throws a punch, he says one word, good. Why? Because every struggle carries opportunity. Didn't get the promotion. Good. You have time to sharpen your skills. Failed in business. Good. You learned what doesn't work. Went through heartbreak. Good. You found out how strong you are. Struggle can be the very soil where your future grows if you choose to see it that way. But let's be honest, most people don't see it that way. Most people let struggle define them. They let failure label them. They say, I guess I'm just not meant for more. I guess this is all I'll ever be. And they give up. Not because they can't win, but because they stop trying. Don't let that be you. Your struggle does not disqualify you. Your struggle prepares you. Your scars are not signs of defeat. They are proof that you survived. Every scar says, I went through hell, but I'm still here. And if you're still here, you still have a chance. That's what makes life beautiful. It's never too late to start again. It's never too late to rise. Think of the phoenix, the bird from myth that burns to ashes only to rise again stronger. That's you. That's what's inside you. No matter how low you feel, no matter how broken you think you are, you can rise. Because resilience is not about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down. I'll share something personal. There was a time I failed so badly that I felt like quitting everything. I felt like I wasn't enough, like I had no place chasing big goals. And for weeks, I carried that weight. But one morning, I asked myself, what if this failure isn't the end? What if this failure is the beginning of something greater? That single question shifted my perspective. It gave me permission to see my struggle not as punishment, but as preparation. And from that moment, I started again. Stronger, clearer, hungrier. That's the power of second chances. And maybe you need to hear this right now. Your story is not over. No matter what you've been through, no matter what mistakes you've made, no matter how heavy your past feels, your story is still being written. The pen is still in your hand. You still have time to change the ending. Some of the greatest success stories in history come from people who were broken. Abraham Lincoln lost multiple elections, went bankrupt, and faced deep depression, yet became one of the most respected leaders of all time. Oprah Winfrey grew up in poverty, endured unspeakable hardship, and was told she didn't belong on television, yet became a global icon. These stories matter because they show us what's possible when you refuse to let struggle be the end. So what about you? What if your hardest struggle is setting the stage for your greatest victory? What if the pain you're carrying right now is the very thing that will fuel your purpose? What if this is not the chapter where it ends, but the chapter where it begins again? Second chances are not just given, they're created. Every day you wake up is another chance to begin again. Every sunrise is an invitation. Will you keep reliving your past or will you rise into your future? That choice is always yours. And here's something powerful. Your comeback doesn't just inspire you. It inspires everyone watching you because people are watching your family, your friends, your coworkers, maybe even people you don't know. And when they see you refuse to quit, when they see you rise from the ashes, it gives them courage to rise too. Your story could be the reason someone else doesn't give up. Think about that. Your struggle, redeemed, could become someone else's survival guide, but it all begins with a decision. A decision to stop letting struggle define you and start letting it refine you. A decision to see failure not as a dead end, but as a detour. A decision to claim your second chance, no matter how far you've fallen. So let me challenge you right now. What second chance do you need to claim today? Is it in your health, your career, your relationships, your self-belief? Write it down. Own it. And then take one step toward it. Not tomorrow, not next week, today, because the longer you wait, the louder the excuses get. And excuses are the enemies of second chances. Remember this, the old you may have been broken, but the new you is being built. The old you may have failed, but the new you is learning. The old you may have given up, but the new you is rising. Struggle is not the end, it's the beginning. Second chances are not rare, they're waiting for you every single day. All you have to do is take them, so rise. Rise with your scars, rise with your pain, rise with your lessons, and show the world that struggle may shape you, but it will never stop you. Your story is far from over. In fact, it's just getting started. Chapter no point 40 say transformation through discipline. That word alone can make people shift in their seats because discipline doesn't sound exciting. It doesn't sound glamorous. It doesn't promise instant results or overnight success. But here's the truth: the discipline is the single most powerful force that can transform your life. Discipline is the bridge between who you are today and who you're capable of becoming tomorrow. Everyone loves the idea of transformation. We love the thought of waking up one morning stronger, healthier, wealthier, more confident. But here's the part nobody likes to hear. Transformation doesn't come from wishing, hoping, or dreaming. Transformation comes from discipline, from doing the hard things when no one's watching, from showing up consistently even when you don't feel like it, from choosing long-term freedom over short-term comfort. Jocko Willink says it best: discipline equals freedom. At first, that sounds like a paradox. How can discipline, something that sounds like restriction, create freedom? But look closer and you'll see the truth. If you have the discipline to save your money, you gain financial freedom. If you have the discipline to take care of your health, you gain physical freedom. If you have the discipline to wake up early and stay focused, you gain the freedom to design your life. Discipline is not the prison, it's the key. Now, let's make this personal. Think about an area of your life where you've been stuck. Maybe it's your health, maybe it's your career, maybe it's your relationships, and ask yourself honestly, is it because life is unfair, or is it because you haven't had the discipline to change it? That's a hard question. It hurts to admit, but honesty is the birthplace of transformation. Here's the brutal truth. Most people don't fail because they don't have goals. Most people fail because they don't have discipline. Everyone wants success, but very few are willing to pay the price. And the price isn't money, it isn't luck, it isn't talent. The price is discipline. Discipline is doing the workout when your bed feels warm. Discipline is saying no to that extra drink when you know tomorrow demands your focus. Discipline is investing in yourself when everyone else is wasting time. Discipline is waking up early, grinding through the hours, and doing it again the next day. It's not flashy, it's not fun, but it works, and it works every single time. Think about it like this: motivation is like a spark. It burns bright but fades quickly. Discipline is the firewood that keeps the flame alive long after motivation disappears. Motivation might get you started, but discipline keeps you going when the excitement is gone. Let me ask you, how many times have you started something with excitement only to quit once the feeling wore off? That's what happens when you rely on motivation. But discipline says feelings don't run this show. Commitment does. And when you live like that, you become unstoppable. There's a story I love of a man who decided to change his life. He was out of shape, unhappy, and stuck in a cycle of excuses. So he made a decision not to run a marathon tomorrow, not to completely change overnight, but to do one disciplined act every day. Day 1, he walked for 10 minutes. Day 2, he walked again. Day 3, he added push-ups. Over time, the discipline built. Months later, he wasn't just walking, he was running. Years later, he wasn't just running, he had transformed completely. His body changed. His confidence changed. His life changed. That's what discipline does. It compounds, it multiplies. Small acts of discipline repeated over time create massive results. The problem is, most people quit before the results show. They expect change in a week, in a month, and when they don't see it, they give up. But discipline requires patience. Discipline is playing the long game. And here's something powerful: you don't need to be perfect to live with discipline. You just need to be consistent. People think discipline means never failing, never slipping, never missing. That's not true. Discipline means that when you fall, you get back up. When you miss a day, you don't quit. When you stumble, you correct your course and keep moving forward. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Now, let's talk about identity. Every time you act with discipline, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. If you choose excuses, you vote for the old you, the one who stays stuck. If you choose discipline, you vote for the new you, the one who transforms. And every vote matters. Every choice shapes your identity. That's why transformation through discipline isn't just about what you achieve. It's about who you become. Discipline changes the way you see yourself. You stop identifying as someone who gives up and start identifying as someone who follows through. That shift in identity is where the real transformation happens. But let's be real, discipline is not glamorous. It's not Instagram worthy. Nobody celebrates the 5 a.m. alarm. Nobody claps for you when you skip the junk food or stay late to finish the work. Discipline is lonely. Discipline is quiet. But when the results come, when your body is stronger, your bank account is healthier, your confidence is unshakable, that's when the world sees what discipline built.
Duh.
So here's the challenge. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for everything to feel perfect. Begin with discipline today. Pick one area of your life, just one, and commit to one disciplined action. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because discipline doesn't live in tomorrow. It lives in the choices you make right now. And remember this, discipline is freedom. Discipline is transformation. Discipline is the tool that will take you from where you are